Then it goes on. Listen to the next verse. It says, verse 11, for the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No, good thing. Grace, glory, good thing. Yeah. And you know, many times with God's glory, we can be thinking about something intangible, something unattainable, something unreachable, something unimaginable. But I actually think that the glory of God is something that is very attainable through Jesus Christ, very reachable, and can impact every life here. And if we truly plant a church and the heart of the leadership and the heart of those who come and the spirit that's over it is to God be the glory, thinking about God's glory and where it is their position, interconnected with God's grace and God's goodness, that's where any hope is here. You see, we can have great musicians, wonderful worship teams, good communicators, great preaching, maybe rent great halls and have great opportunity, but none of that ultimately will do what God is wanting to do in this city. But God's grace, God's glory, God's goodness, when that's our portion, when everything about us says it's all about the glory of God, it's all about God and people. We just want to love God, we just want to love life, we just want to love people, and it's all about the glory of God. Then there's a chance that God can do something good. And I believe it's the same for our own lives. Many people, they have all sorts of concepts of the glory of God. But if we could just get a glimpse of God's grace and God's goodness and see how that affects God's glory. You know, in Isaiah chapter 60, in Isaiah chapter 60, the Lord says to his people, arise and shine, for your light has come. In other words, it's your time. Arise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. The glory of the Lord. So the glory of the Lord's not just some intangible that is up there and belongs to God. No. You know, the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. And with that, it starts to paint a picture of kings coming to your rising and Gentiles, the word talks about. You know, it talks about momentum. It talks about starting to bring life. All out of the glory of God. Gentiles shall come to your light. Kings to the brightness of your rising. So the glory of God. Let's have a heart. Let's have a prayer. Let's have it for our own lives. That says, Lord, it's for your glory. To the glory of God. In Jesus' name. Amen. Doesn't matter. I feel closer now. I felt like a preacher up there. Now I feel like I'm just talking to you. Which is so much more fun. You know, the glory of God can be something you can know in your everyday world. And something you can introduce other people to. If you just have a heart for God's grace and God's goodness. Here where the Bible says, rise, shine, for your light has come, the glory of the Lord. It comes from a Hebrew word, kabod. You know, there was one king, one prophet, one Old Testament dude, he was an evil king, Eli. And he died of a broken neck. And his grandson was called Ichabod. And his name meant the glory has departed. What a name, Ichabod, the glory has departed. Ichabod, the glory has departed. Well, kabod is the opposite. Kabod is God's glory. Incidentally, 7 years later, after the Ark of the Covenant was captured, after they lost the presence of God, after the glory was captured, they got the glory back again, but Ichabod was always called Ichabod. And the incredible thing for you and I is maybe in your life, maybe even while you've been here in New York City, stuff's gone down, and you feel a bit like the glory of God has departed. But you know, because of God's grace and God's goodness, you can know God's glory. And if you know God's glory, I'm going to get to the best part right now. I'm going to tell you what that actually means. The word kabod, it's talking about weight or substance or heaviness. That's what it's talking about. So it's actually saying, you know, the glory of the Lord shall rise upon you. It's actually saying God is going to put his weight behind you. He's going to give substance to what you do. He'll build his church. You know, compared with him, we are lightweights. There was a king in the book of Daniel. His name was Belshazzar. Belshazzar was king. But it says about him, he was weighed in the balance and found too light. He was a king, but he was a lightweight. You know, we could have kings. You know, we could have all the cool people, all the cool stuff in the world. But you know, we don't have the glory of God. We're lightweights. You can't do what God's called you to do. Offer it about reputation and credibility. What we need to believe is that the glory of God will wait on us and that He puts His weight behind our efforts. If I could read some words that relate to Kavod, the glory of God. I'm only taking a couple of minutes here. If I can find where I left my book. That's why I should have taken a pulpit in the first place. Here it is. Listen to it. It says here about the glory of God. Listen to some of these words. It's weightiness, substance, honour, splendor, wealth, authority, magnificence, fame, excellence, dignity, riches. Those are the sorts of things that represent the glory of God.